The Tao of Self-Confidence, episode 785. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello, friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have an amazing lady on the show today. She is the founder and creative director of Oh Joy, and I'm really excited to have her on and share her story with us today on self-confidence. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Joy Cho. Joy, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
I'm good. Hi. Thanks for having me, Sheena. My name is Joy Cho. As Sheena said, I'm the founder and creative director of Oh Joy, which is a lifestyle brand based in Los Angeles. We are a design company who creates a bunch of really fun products within home decor and kids and the lifestyle category. And we do a ton of fun content on social media in food, fashion, home decor, and DIY.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And Joy, what's your cultural background?
I am Thai American. So my parents immigrated to Thailand before I was born, and then I was born in the United States in Philadelphia.
Thanks for sharing that. And what'd be your favorite self-confidence quote?
You know, there is something that my brother-in-law said to me a while ago when I was first starting my company, when I was in a moment of self-doubt about whether I could do it and if I was meant to have a company. And all he said to me was, "Who says you can't?" And that's something that I always think about all the time, because when you think about it, you say it out loud. Who says you can't? It's literally always you. You yourself are usually the one who's getting in your way a lot of the times. And so for me to think, oh, it's actually just me who's getting in my own way, like that's the easiest person to get out of your own way sometimes, that once you kind of remove that layer, you can think about pushing forward and continuing to move on with whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish.
Thanks for sharing that great quote. And, I totally agree. Sometimes, we all it's us who gets in our way of our dreams, or because of our fears and what people might think of us. And the more we can just realize, it's like when we take that out of the equation and just move forward, we can do whatever it is we dream of. So I really like that quote that you mentioned. And in your own words, how do you define self-confidence?
To me, self-confidence is just feeling happy in the state of whatever you're doing, whether that is a state of work or a project you're working on and within business or your career, or whether that's how you feel when you walk into a room and it has something to do with what you're wearing or how you feel about yourself. Because I think those moments when you feel confident, and those moments when you don't feel confident. And the moments you feel confident, you also feel happy. And for me, I think that that's something that we all strive for, because we don't always feel that all the time. And we have moments of ebb and flow of feeling more or less confident. But I think that it's so important. It's something that I always am trying to instill in myself as much as possible, because I know how much it helps me to be able to push through difficult times, or just like having a great day if I feel more confident. But also, as a mother to two young girls, I also am always figuring out ways to be able to be a role model for them in confidence, so that they can also be their most confident selves.
Thanks for sharing that great definition. And Joy, what was your life like before you discovered self-confidence?
Well, it's interesting. It's not that once you discover self-confidence, it's not like everything is perfect. But I would say that my first big moment of feeling like my confidence level really changed for the better was when I was in middle to high school. Those tween years are just terrible, and I think awkward for a lot of people. And so I started taking karate when I was 11, and I slowly kept training more and more, and I was going up the ranks and belts, and I eventually became a black belt. I started teaching classes, and I eventually became a secondary black belt. And so that for me was probably one of the things that I think changed my life and change the direction of my life. And not to say I would have a terrible life if I didn't do it, but I was a very shy kid and I really didn't like talking to people. And I was probably more socially awkward than I am now. And so it really helped me come out of my shell, and it really allowed me to, I think, help to discover myself and not be so concerned about what other people thought of me. So that was probably the first major thing that helped me. And then secondarily was probably when I met my husband, who I met early when I was in high school. And just there was something about just having somebody who believes in you so much and who believes in you as a person, but also believes in your abilities. That really helped me a lot. And I think you can find that anywhere. It's not just about a partner or a spouse. It's just also in friendships, and it's the people you surround yourself with. And I think I learned from there to start to surround myself with positive people who I felt like were role models for me also in my life. And then finally, my other probably third biggest thing was after I had kids. As a woman in this day and age, you grow up with various body concerns and you compare yourself to other people. And when I was younger, there was no social media, but we saw magazines and catalogs and all these things. And so up until I had kids, there was lots of little things that I worried about, and not having a flat stomach or blah, 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 and all this stuff. And then after I had kids and my body changed, and my never flat stomach is still never going to be flat, and it's even like puffier than it was before, and it has stretch marks and all this stuff, but it's just like you just care less because your body made these people, and those stretch marks are a sign of holding a baby. And and also once I had kids, I also realized that it wasn't worth spending time obsessing or being less confident about these like little things that nobody else was ever going to see. And also more than anything, I didn't want my kids to see that. I didn't want them to see my insecurities, and not to say that I want them to think I'm perfect, because I make sure that they know that I'm not. But I think it's really important to all of a sudden you're like, oh shoot, I'm a role model for these children. And if they pick up on a way that I'm treating myself that's not great, then they're going to think that's okay to do that to themselves too.
Thanks for sharing that. And I love how you mentioned, like what happens after you have kids, because, I know a lot of people say how their bodies change, right? And a lot of people are still like, well, not a lot of people, but some people still fear like, they don't have the perfect body. They don't have that flat, like you mentioned, the flat abs, the perfect physique, but it's like you just made life. And, sometimes those figures or pictures you see on a magazine or on social media are also edited to a T where it's not even them anymore. So we just have to realize like, sometimes we look at a magazine and it's not, it may look perfect, but before that it was still like raw and unedited and not so perfect. So it's okay to be who we are and just accept who we are no matter what, changes we go through in life. So I'm glad you're able to share that. And because of your realizations, what's your life been like now?
It's not, and again, I think that even when you have those moments of realization, it's not like every day is perfect or I ever have days of self-doubt, because I'm human and I still do. But I think that as I get older, I care less about worrying about what other people think. And again, it's not perfect, but it's getting better and better. It partially, I think, comes with age. I just turned 40 this year, and I think that there's something about that decade that starts to feel like, hey, you know what? I am who I am, and I'm going to embrace it and not question it. So yeah, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to just like, also when you can snap yourself out of those moments, because again, it's not like I'm walking through life every single day, 100% of it, feeling 100% about everything. But when I start to have moments of stress or anxiety or self-doubt, being able to know how to snap yourself out of it a little bit quicker than you could have before is also a really empowering feeling, just knowing, hey, you're going to be okay, that kind of a thing.
Thanks for sharing that. And, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey to self-confidence. What would be that one tip you'd give to her?
The one tip I would give to her is, number one, to surround yourself with people who lift you up and who believe in you. Because the biggest thing about as you get older and your time becomes more limited, and it's about quality over quantity with friends or with relationships or whatever it might be, make sure that the people that you're with are really providing joy to your life. And same thing with you, like be that joy to somebody else. Be the helpful friend, be the listening friend, be the person that helps to give advice whenever you can or help somebody out whenever you can. And I think that that's a really great start that everybody has access to. And then I think from there, it's just about really feeling like trying to get clear on what are the things that you think are going to make you happy and starting to test those out, because sometimes the things that we think are going to make us happy actually are not the things, but you don't know that until you try them out.
Thanks for sharing those great tips. And if our listeners wanted to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do and check out some of your work, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yeah, you can find all things Ojoy over at ojoy.com. And then you can follow me on Instagram and Pinterest with the handle at Ojoy, OHJOY.
Thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Joy, you can also head on over to the selfconfidence.com and search for Joy's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else that we talked about. And I really just want to thank Joy today for taking the time to share her story and tips with us on self-confidence. So thank you so much, Joy.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. It was really great having you on the show. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Tao of Self-Confidence. Want to learn how you can use podcasting to market your business? Download your free report by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.